this is one of a report which I have read. Can a non-veg diet cause breast cancer? I just put it bluntly. Is it correct, or is it about the processed food, or what animals are fed so that they quickly grow? Can you just break it down for our viewers, sir?
So basically, non-vegetarian diet is not good for health and more related to the colonic and GI cancers compared to the breast cancer. So any non-vegetarian diet in general is not good for health, and especially for the gut, for example, stomach and colon, and more so if it is fried. I always say my quote as fried food fries you. So that's what it is. The more you fry the non-vegetarian diet, and it's harmful to you and it is carcinogenic. So certainly the non-vegetarian diet compared to the vegetarian diet is always harmful. And whenever you eat a non-vegetarian diet, I always address them to have a good amount of salad along with the non-vegetarian diet so that it nullifies the carcinogenic effect of non-vegetarian diet. So the high fiber diet or salad should be taken along with the. If you look at the Western countries, most of the people are adapted to salad along with the non-vegetarian diet. So they are used to non-vegetarian diet. They cannot avoid, so they add the salad along with the non-vegetarian diet. That's the way you can nullify the negative carcinogenic effect of non-vegetarian.
But sir, if this is true, then the cases where non-vegetarian food is eaten in majority of meals like Kashmir, Northeast, then the data should have shown, or Bengal, Bihar, Tamil Nadu, Andhra, Telangana, the data should have been, showing that skew, but it does not show that.
Right. So as I said, in all the predisposing factors for the breast cancer, non-vegetarian diet is not really mentioned. But however, in general, non-vegetarian diet is shown to increase the incidence of cancer, especially GI tract cancer.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Sanjay Kalra, your opening comments on obesity, non-vegetarian food and breast cancer. How are we supposed to frame this?
So breast cancer is a major issue, like the ICMR report has rightly pointed out. An even bigger issue, an even heavier issue is obesity. Both non-veg food and obesity do lead to an increase in cancer. Let's look at how non-veg food does that. Non-veg food, especially when you cook very high temperatures, it damages the proteins of the animal meat, and that in turn damages the DNA, our DNA. Non-veg food also contains heme iron, which produces free radicals, which damages our cells. And then there are specific molecules only in animal meat or only in animal tissue. They are not found in plant tissue, which actually act as inflammators. They inflame or they swell our cells. But we can reduce the risk of non-veg food. You did ask about that. If we change the way in which we cook, avoid grilling, barbecuing, avoid pan frying. Instead, move to moist heat methods and low temperature methods. Prefer steaming and braising. Avoid charring your meat. Don't turn it into black. It may give you a smoky odor, but it will also char the cells inside you and they will turn into malignant cells more frequently. If you are frying on a pan, just flip the meat more frequently. That's all you have to do. There is also a difference between different types of non-veg. Consuming poultry food or poultry, that's chicken, actually may reduce the risk of cancer. Taking red meat increases the risk of cancer, and taking processed red meat.
Can you elaborate on that, sir? Can you elaborate on the difference between the poultry meat and the other meat, sir?
So when you use meat, red meat, that has got heme iron. Iron itself, if you take it in very high levels, that produces what we call free radicals. These damage our cells. Poultry doesn't have that heme iron, so it will not damage our cells too much.
Okay.
So that's the biggest difference. And then when you process the meat, whenever you just remember that whenever you're processing anything, whether it is a vegetable or an animal source of protein, you are adding different types of chemicals to it. You cannot process without chemicals. So the more the chemicals we add, the more we put our cells at risk. Another issue is with the feed that our animals get. Though this may not be a major issue in most parts of India, but non-vegetarian food is given to our animals as part of fodder. And it's a food chain. We come at the end of the food chain. We end up consuming a little bit of everything that our animals are consuming. There are places where different types of hormones are given to the animals, whether it is in an effort to increase lactation, that's increase milk production, or in an effort to increase their body weight and size. This is true for the poultry industry as well. And these hormones, these exogenous hormones that are given, they also cause an increase in cancer. Obesity, of course, we usually call it the elephant in the room, but obesity is the octopus in the room. Why we call it the octopus? Because it is eight-legged, just like cancer is. So, you know, what Dr. Reddy was trying to say was it's not a linear relationship. Too much of non-veg and too much of cancer. There are multiple factors. That's why you don't see that skew. Similar is for obesity. Obesity, when the fat cells go up, the fat cells produce estrogen. This is true in men, it is true in women, it is also true in postmenopausal women. So, a postmenopausal woman will produce testosterone from her adrenal glands. A premenopausal would be producing testosterone both from the adrenal glands and the ovaries. When this enters the fat tissue, various enzymes work there to convert this into estrogen. And we know that breast cancer risk will increase if you have a higher exposure to estrogen. So that's why obesity also leads to an increase in cancer of breast.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Shubda Bhanot, your opening comments, madam? Your opening comments?
So, Dr.
Right.
Sanjay Kalra very nicely told us that eating non-veg food can increase the risk of certain types of cancer. But I would like to add that it is not only eating a sole food, basically. It is also your entire lifestyle, your genetics, your sleep pattern, the weight, which overall, like you were saying, that it has not shown a skewed relationship. Like it's not like a particular state has shown more breast cancer where we are eating more non-veg. So it's your entire lifestyle which will contribute. Yes, Dr. Kalra definitely told us that how you cook the non-veg is very important, and certain types of non-veg if you eat, like especially the processed meat, because the way we cook the processed meat, we increase certain types of compounds, like when we make the bacon or the sausages or the deli meats, the cold cuts, we are actually making certain types of compounds which are the N-nitroso compounds, which will damage the DNA, which will increase the inflammation in our body, and that is main reason why it causes cancer. So the study also says us that don't consume these foods in excess. Now, when we say excess, we mean not more than 2 to 3 times in a week. In India, when we talk about non-veg, we have to understand that we are not very hardcore non-vegetarians, though the studies that we have seen are underreported because there is a reporting bias there. But definitely, we don't eat so much non-veg, but we, in general, should reduce the consumption of red meat, of processed meats, and we should be careful about how we are cooking it. We should not be grilling the food on very high heat, because that produces polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, which will definitely increase breast cancers because they produce estrogen mimicry compounds.